The following is an original Aliven podcast.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since our season finale to 2025 on November 6th, Gamers Talk NASCAR is officially back. And we're back a whole week early. And the reason for that is there's a lot of other news that we're going to cover here on the 2026 season premiere of Gamers Talk NASCAR. And as you can see, if you're watching on the YouTube side, we got our cameras on for the first time in about 3 years. And also we're going to be on Spotify too. So it's gonna be a pretty crazy year when it comes to, the evolution or the re-evolution of GTN, if you will. As always, I'm Elijah Leonard here with you. To the left over on my screen, it is my co-host Wyatt Walker. To the bottom, it is Slifer in his sophomore season for GTN. What's going on, gentlemen? How are we doing?
I'm excited for the season.
Yeah, this season's gonna be good. There's been a lot of changes. There's been not a few moving around during the silly season. We have at least cup side is kind of a chill silly season.
Yeah.
Am I lagging? There we go. But but a lot of updates, especially for playoff stuff we'll talk about later on, but pretty interesting.
But I did get prepared for tonight.
Nice.
Look at that.
I mean, I'm wearing my new. I don't wear hoodies a lot. Y'all know me that well, but I don't wear hoodies. But this is my new NASCAR hoodie. I thought I'd bring it out for the first episode.
Yeah, I'm just wearing my Jeff Gordon hoodie, which I got from Heat Waves. Again, we're not sponsored by Heat Waves, but I also do have some glasses that were custom made from them just 4 years ago. So again, big shout out to Heat Waves. Sponsor us, JK.
Notice that we've said, especially last year,
yeah,
said a lot of stuff like Prime and all that stuff, and I've noticed not one of them reached out to you about sponsoring us.
Yeah, Dubby. Yeah.
Logan Paul.
I mean, technically, if this is sponsored, this one could be sponsored by anything. It could be sponsored by W.
It could be. I mean, use code 11 for 10% off on your total purchase at W. Total purchase on checkout. This is Sly's just like, I don't like that.
He's already getting his promo out. He's already getting W promo out. Aren't you didn't you get a deal with W as well?
Yeah, he's got the same thing.
That's why I'm giving him the look.
He's like, what about my code, buddy?
I mean, you can choose either code if you want. If Slifer wants to put in his code, you go ahead and do that too.
Yeah. Maybe next week.
All right.
Maybe next week.
Obviously, I said I was going to try streaming. I haven't done it yet, so I'm not sponsored or anything. So that's I don't have no code unless they make a code.
Yeah. Who knows? It's very easy actually, but
You can use code LGGY for Wyatt.
What'd you just say?
LAGGY.
Anyway, back to
all right.
I feel like code CE19 might be a better one, but I digress.
So let's get into some of the stuff that has been happening during the off season, man. But let's be real with ourselves. Probably one of the worst off seasons we could have ever had, for very obvious reasons. One of which, really, there's two, maybe three, but the biggest one that kind of sticks out to my mind is that we have lost several people along the way. One of which being Greg Biffle, a former NASCAR Cup driver, champion in the Truck Series, and now what is now known as the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. But We're still, I mean, I'm still going to call it O'Reilly Series just for short. O'Reilly Auto Parts is just too much of a
I'm
mouthful. But
honestly, I'm
think.
still planning on calling it Xfinity Series, to be honest with you.
yeah, I believe it.
I mean, if you really want to go there, we could just call it Nationwide
Or Bush.
or
Or
Bush.
yeah,
Yeah. But
but
unfortunately, a month ago, well, at the time that we're recording this, so a little over a month ago, we wound up losing him and the rest of his family due to a plane crash that that he was involved in. So that one definitely hit everybody pretty hard because he wasn't just, you know, somebody that, you know, gave it his all out on the racetrack, especially with the equipment that he had
Yeah.
with Roush. But we all can agree that he was such a selfless human being. You know, just as, you know, we go back to 2024 during Hurricane Helene, when Tennessee, I think it was Tennessee that got absolutely devastated by, you know, the hurricanes, and they had no resources whatsoever. And the Biff stepped up and, you know, delivered all the resources. So like food, water, you name it, clothes, anything and everything that you could think of. Biffle was on it, and he got all the resources delivered. Man, he was such a hero, and that's
Greg,
one of the reasons why I really, especially around that time, like towards the tail end of his Cup career, and even the sporadic starts that he made here and there, is just like, yeah, Greg Biffle was so underrated as a driver,
So,
but as like a public figure, he was a hero.
so about Hurricane Helene, it was actually the Beach Bend part of Florida.
Oh, Florida. Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luckily, not near me, but kind of near me, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. That was my mistake, but
Yeah.
A couple things for me to say on them. Like y'all know me long enough. Of course, my tag is CE19. Of course, my favorite driver of all time is Carl Edwards, and that was Greg Biffle's teammate when he was at Roush. And that one, even though I didn't watch them as teammates, and they fully start religiously watching until like 2015. But even then, to see Biffle race, even for a couple years, going back then and watching him win Texas in the Truck Series, it just that one, it really hit me really hard. I found
It,
that out. I was at work. It just sucked. I feel bad
you
for
know,
the whole family too.
yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
But
and I'm also
granted,
not. No, go ahead. Sorry.
on a like kind of a lively, somewhat note, granted they had the service, and one of the speakers was Cletus McFarland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did make it was kind of like a joke wise that Biffle did to McFarland, and he had said that Biffle went and washed or took his race suit and got it washed, and also hemmed it 4 inches. So when he put his race suit on, well, you could see his ankles and part of his leg.
I remember that story. I remember seeing the clips for it too. That was so funny.
Out of all people to be a jokester, I would have never thought Biffle to be that much of a jokester.
I mean, y'all do remember the number car he drove in the SRX, right?
Yeah. 69.
He drove the 69 car in the SRX. Like that's just
Yeah.
I mean that don't scream jokester. I don't know what does.
Now, was the sponsor Viagra?
No, I don't even know what.
Now
I don't even
that would have made him driving the 69 car much more funnier.
Yeah,
if
it
was
would
sponsored
have,
by
man.
Viagra.
I think it was a white car. If I'm not, it was either blue or white. I don't remember.
It was blue. I think it was blue, if I remember correctly.
Also, not trying to have a plug show or trying to do anything, but after the whole deal, course, Elijah. I guess he's on this side. I don't know what side he's on his camera, but he has the WLA stuff. I got the number 16. On certain races, if you want to watch, I have asked to get the number 16 3M car in honor of him. So be on some races where he's won races like Daytona, Michigan,
Mhm.
and other tracks like Darlington. Please make sure you tune into those if to see that car going around track and hopefully win races too.
Yeah.
Just
I forgot. I don't know if they said what they were gonna do this year for Biffle.
he should automatically be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like he should
Oh,
be
gotcha.
like he shouldn't even have a ballot. Like I think he needs to be in there. You can still have the ballot, have other drivers, but Greg Fipple has to be in there.
Yeah, and he still raced even with the shenanigans that McFarlane put on at the Freedom Factory. And he was racing with people like Kai Kelly from Street Outlaws, and other forms of racing. I mean, I think they had like a 100-car race before.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it's actually here in Florida.
Hmm.
I think it's Bradenton. I think the Freedom Factory is located, I believe.
It's one of those.
Sorry.
Yeah, it has to be one of one of those places. But definitely in Florida, that's for sure.
Yes, it is Bradenton.
Yeah.
But could you imagine though, that size of a track, 100 cars, and he has them. And McFarlane had them all start out 3 wide.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be I wouldn't say a hot topic, but I'd say like if somehow, some way, shape, or form, if Please McFarlane was able to somehow get a ride for the Daytona 500, I really think that like everyone would probably push for him to be in there and probably have like his whole car sponsored about the remembrance of Greg
Mhm.
Biffle, and
I
every single person would want that car in the Daytona 500.
me
Who is driving the
personally
16 car?
right now.
AJ Allmendinger,
Yeah.
I think that would be good just for the Daytona 500 if they did that.
like AJ switched to the third. AJ switched to the 13.
No, just
Oh, have AJ do it.
like have that car, just
Yeah.
that paint scheme just for the 500.
That would be cool though.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
realistically, I just don't, as cool as it would be to see Cletus like put a ride together or at least try to get a deal together
ain't
for the
ready yet.
500. It
Oh, I
just
know he's
it
not
just it just is unrealistic, like when you really think about it. But it would be a cool idea
I know.
though.
He did say like his goal was to race in the day. His goal was to race in the Daytona 500 and have that remembrance of Biffle in there. Like
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they figure something out. But I can agree with you saying like
Yeah.
he's
just trying to figure out
What?
like which team would he go for, because like Rhett Jones Racing is the team that he's contracted by. So which team would he race for if this happens?
honestly.
How about this? If they actually did it, this is what I think they could do.
Mhm.
Have his car that he used to drive.
Yeah.
And obviously beforehand, let McFarlane run 16 laps.
Hmm.
Just him, nobody else. Just McFarlane
Yeah,
in one of Greg Biffle's old cars. 16 laps.
I would say probably the best one might be the car he had his last win with.
Either that or the car that he got his first win with.
I like that
Yeah.
one better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, that one too. was like either way, I like that. Just just something for Biffle. It's
Yeah.
like that one broke a lot. That one broke a lot of hearts, and we still have like a couple more to talk about too.
Yeah, speaking of, that's actually a good segue. The second one, and this is really in no chronological order and when all this took place, but we know after Biffle passed, well, there was quite a few of them, but there was also Denny Hamlin's dad. He unfortunately passed away as well. I think this might have been also a couple days before Christmas. Which is all it's, and again, like this is also pretty unfortunate as well because this is a month and a half after Hamlin came very, very, very close to winning the championship under, obviously what is now the past format. We'll get more into that later on. But it definitely, that's also probably just super heartbreaking, because it's like, it's bad. I don't know how else to really sum it up.
My
But to
thing is
bounce
like
off of what you said, it was
Go ahead.
December 28th.
Oh, a few days
it was,
after.
so it was after Christmas.
Okay.
So my thing was like I think he was already like diagnosed with like cancer. I think I don't know. I don't remember fully, but I know he was not like his health wasn't as good anyways. It was most likely he wasn't going to uh live longer for that long anyway. But the way he just suddenly passed, like this
Well,
was not like out
apparently it
of.
was in a house fire.
Yes, it was. Yes, I was about to say that. I was about like when in the house fire that happened. From what I hear, his mom got severely injured too. I think she's doing okay now, but it's like just that his dad passed away, and after that, that broke a lot of people's hearts too.
Yeah. That one stung just
What
as much.
This is not a good off season for Denny Hamlin. Like he lost the championship, obviously could earn about almost earned. Like he earned that. He earned that championship. He could have gotten it.
Yeah.
Just missed out on that. Then with all the stuff going on with all the health issues going on with his dad, and then just out of this house fire out of nowhere. And did they say what caused it? By the way, I don't know if I got that information or it got revealed.
What?
What caused that house fire?
Uh,
But anyway, but while you're looking
Not
that
that I
up,
can see.
yeah. Either way, just like having that, and then his dad pass from that, it just it's just heartbreaking for Denny.
Mm-hmm.
The only good thing that came out of this off season, which we'll talk about later, is the oh I'm drawing a blank. The court case.
Oh yeah, dude. We can actually touch on that, but
Yeah.
hold on, because there's one
We got
more.
one.
There
Yeah,
was
there's one
another
more we got to
one,
talk about first.
dude. And this one was another one that just completely came out of nowhere. Michael Annett. He retired back in like 2021 ish, right around
Yes.
that point in time. And went away very quietly. I wouldn't say like went away from the sport, to be more specific. Quietly. But just the passing of Michael Annett came completely out of nowhere because
He was
one it was, I don't know what you would say number one, number two for, but this man passed away before he turned 40.
Yes.
And I don't know exactly what would have been the cause of his passing, but it just came so completely out of
I
nowhere.
don't know if they've even mentioned that either. I don't think they revealed the cause of death of Michael Annett yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one that started everything.
Hmm.
And then like a few days after that was Biffle.
Yeah.
What?
I found something on. It said that like he had a fractured and dislocated sternum from a 2013 Daytona crash that required surgery and all that, and later a stress fracture in his right femur during a 2021 workout. So I don't know if anything else. It's the only thing that I've seen so far.
I
Hmm.
don't know.
Yeah, another thing I just saw is like no cause of death was announced, and that was people asking like what happened to Annette. But yeah, 39. It's just crazy, you know. But obviously, when a certain person needs you and calls for you, it's your time.
Yeah. So let's switch gears here. We've kind of gotten the bad out of the way. Now let's actually get into some of the good. Let's get into some of the good stuff. So, let's do this. Let's talk about some silly season news that wound up happening over the course of this year. Of course, the big one, the one thing I can definitely talk about that we can talk about is Daniel Suarez. If we're gonna focus on Cup to start things out, he is gonna be racing for Spire Motorsports actually, because and I think this is honestly a good thing that this happened, because we were talking about, oh, well, he might, if he doesn't find any opportunities in Cup, maybe go down to Xfinity or trucks. He could have been the potential candidate for one of the trucks in Colic, you know, that had just started up. But Justin Haley is now back in the truck series, along with several others that are also, you know, going full time or vice versa. But for Suarez, he will be racing the 7 over for Spire Motorsports this year, and it is a 1-year deal as far as we know. So
I feel like this is
like
his
a
last
trial kind
chance.
of period.
Yeah.
This I would say this is a trial period, but there's also been several people that have been saying that, like, oh, this is kind of like, this is the make or break season for Suarez. And I don't know if I would want to exaggerate it like that, but this is kind of what it feels like. If it's kind of like you're a 1-year deal, it's like, all right, this is kind of the year where it's just like, I got to make something happen, or it's kind of game over.
Because you got to look of who his teammates are. Like, you got Michael McDowell and you got Carson Hocevar. Yes, neither one has won this in this team yet, but Carson Hocevar is the young up and comer. Like, he has shown like he can race well in the equipment. He's about damn near almost won multiple times. Michael McDowell is one of the best road course. He has a couple multiple wins under his belt. Sure, it was from a different team, but like he's still a pretty good driver. Even non-road course races, he's one up there. Daniel Suarez is always hit and miss when it comes like at certain teams, like a Joe Gibbs, and they're like he did pretty good at Trackhouse,
Oh yeah.
but his performances started to go down after years went on. So like this is what I'm saying. This is probably the make or break for Suarez. He's in a decent car. I'm hoping he does good, but I don't know where I would put him.
Meanwhile, Slifer.
I'm just looking stuff up.
But yeah, well,
But wouldn't you agree though,
we
Sly? Because like, you know, for you know, Suarez, that for this being a 1-year deal, wouldn't you agree that this is kind of like a make or break season for him?
Actually, I do, because, he's what? How many races has he won in the past couple of years?
Probably, yeah,
He only
definitely
won 2
2.
races. He only won 2 races. His first win at Sonoma, and then he got his second and only other win at Atlanta in that thriller 3-wide finish
Yeah.
at Atlanta.
Yeah, and I think like his top fives and top tens ain't really been all that great. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. This is gonna be like the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah.
Either he
I
does good or he's done.
And I would say like Spire, don't get me wrong, they're a good team. They've really come around ever since like the next gen ever came out, because you got, eventually you had Carson Hocevar come along and he's setting Spire on fire with the 77. That's the flagship car. Michael McDowell, I feel like, he's really building off of, what he's been able to do with Front Row Motorsports. The 7 historically over the years, and especially with Spire Motorsports, hasn't been the greatest, especially with Corey LaJoie, Justin Haley, and now possibly with Daniel Suarez. And I'm not going to say he's going to go out and, just have this breakout season, because me personally, I just don't see that happening. But I do think he will probably, definitely try his absolute best to build off of his, performances that he's had with Trackhouse over the years. But I personally don't believe he's going to go out and have like this breakout season. Unless if there's some crazy miracle that happens, I just don't see a breakout season happening for Suarez.
For me, I'm looking at like for him to like get another contract, he has to be like I'd say either majority of the time or where he has to finish. He's got to get like at least either top 20, top 25 at the least.
Yeah.
Like I don't think maybe top 30, but if you're like below 30, then I do not see. I do not see you're it's kind of being pushed but between the 26 through 30. I think I get you has to be either be top 25, top 20.
Yeah.
Like it don't even have to be top 15. Like that's top 15's pushing it. Like it has to be. I think the best range, like
I'd say around
to get him
20.
another. You say 22. You say 20 as well. That's like
Yeah, like
I'd say it has
15,
to be either
20.
20.
You know,
I don't know about 15. I think 15's pushing it. Like that's why I'm saying
well,
like
no, I'm not
25.
saying like exactly 15, to
Yeah.
20, but like say like 19 or,
Yes.
but
Yes.
25 is easily doable.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it
You know,
depends. Like you still like. Well, here's my thing on that too. Here's where I'm at on. You look at all the people we got in here. We have 34. We have 34 confirmed full-time drivers. At least on my list. I don't know. There's a couple more, but it's like you have 34 confirmed full-time drivers. You have a lot. Like we thought last year was unpredictable when it came to, like who thought was going to be in the top 16. We had so many good because the mid pack, like I mentioned, was the one we always had to watch. Like we had got we had people like a Josh Berry show up. He won a race. He got in the playoffs. Made some noise. Carson Hocevar was up there mixing it up.
Yeah.
Busher, Priest, as we talked about, like those third card elements that we talked about, they played a factor. 2 at the front row cars of a Todd Gilliland and Zane Smith had some fantastic runs.
Mm.
And they still can. They still can. Both legacy cars. It's like
yeah,
it's always like this year still has some great star power too, and it don't. And we're going to segue more to this later on, but it helps when we got the new rookie, the only rookie at the moment, with Connor Zilic being
now
moved up to the
my
cup.
question is if Connor Village does say win a race, will he remember what happened to him and not
Like
try to
what?
stand on
Oh,
the window net?
Yeah. I see
he
what you mean.
But
I feel like I feel like he's gonna pull a Ross Chastain because at Talladega he did open like the very top of it. So it's like I think he's gonna be
um,
definitely mindful.
I know last year we've talked about before that how unpredictable the season's going to be, or and then halfway through how it's still unpredictable. I believe that
Yeah.
this year will definitely be unpredictable because they don't have
Yeah.
the win and you're in.
That's actually a
And-
perfect perfect segue into this, but because
Do,
the chase
do
is
you wanna talk about-
back. Oh
And
my
we're not talking about
god.
Elliott.
No. Chase
Yeah.
Elliott has always been here. He's going to be here for many more years to come. But we're talking
Or
about
Briscoe.
the old chase format from all the way back to 2004 to 2013. The chase returns for the first time since 2013, and the win and you're in is done away. Gentlemen,
You know,
hallelujah.
I know why this is going to be your first experience with the
Yes.
chase, but man,
yes, as I
let me tell you,
as I meant, sorry.
your point thing, you're going to have to really look back on how everything's gone on, because this is going to be the most unpredictable final 10 races you're ever going to experience.
Not to mention the fact like it's already going to be possible. Like the difference between then and now, we have then it was 12 drivers. Now you got 16, which it's going to be it's going to be hard to try to figure out figure who's the best 16 of all them. So this is going to be a real challenge.
The new format obviously is going to use the framework of the system that was in place from 2004 to 2013 of the Cup Series, but obviously with the several key enhancements. Field size for the chase in each series will remain the same. 16 drivers in Cup, 12 in O'Reilly's or Xfinity or Nationwide or Busch, and 10 in the trucks. But all drivers qualify based on regular season points. The win and you're in rule that provided regular season winners with automatic playoff berths is done away. It's no more. It's gone. Race winners now collect 55 points, a 15-point increase over the previous point system. The points awards for all other positions and stage results remain the same, but bankable playoff points are no longer part of this format. Points will reset for each series. Chase Field with a 25-point premium awarded to the regular season champion. So I guess they're still doing that. Top seeds will start the chase with 2,100 points. 2075 for second, 2065 for third, with a 5-point drop for each seed afterwards. The Cup Series chase spans the final 10 races, 9 chase races for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and 7 for trucks. The driver with the most points at the end of the season will be the champion. So again, as you both have been going on, had been saying, like, yes, finally, after 12 years, and even NASCAR Steve O'Donnell himself coming forward and saying that, yeah, this wasn't the right way to do it after 12 years. Like, we are finally returning to some form of awarding somebody the championship just based off of pure consistency alone.
If I remember from the chase announcement that was also on YouTube, if I remember hearing it right, the only race that's going to be awarded more points, which is 75, is going to be the Coke 600. If I remember hearing
Yeah,
it.
I can
did
see
not-
that.
I missed that. I missed that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, because obviously,
I feel like
it's the longest race in
yeah.
in the circuit.
My
so.
personal opinion, I feel like all 4 of the Crown Jewel races should be a little bit extra to make it more special.
I mean, as much as I would want to agree on it, but those are regular, races. This one's the 600. Obviously, you're going 600 miles on a what?
Yeah.
2.5 mile track,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
So like Daytona, you're going 188 laps on a 2.5 mile, and
Sure.
same with Talladega.
I feel like if or at least another track had to add to that equation, like I think Daytona 500 and the Coco 600 should be the ones that should be add more points to it. 'Cause they are
Right.
the biggest races. Maybe you can argue the Southern 500, but I still
There
think if
was
anything,
there was one man in that announcement that wanted to bring it back legitimately old school, and that
Mark
was Mark
Martin.
Martin.
Yeah. Mark Martin has been like the most vocal out of anybody I have ever seen. Besides Kenny Wallace, but Mark Martin was the
Yeah.
focal point of like bringing back like consistency, like where's that points format. That was like the chase is probably the closest thing that we're going to get to it, and I'm perfectly fine with it.
I'm happy with this.
I'm happy with this as well, man, because like this was the format that sure it obviously did like shut out everybody else from having a chance, but at least it still gave some form of, kind of like the old school points format, if you will.
Yeah, because if we had the old school format, like the legit old school, like when Senior was driving and Allison and all them,
Petty,
Zilich would have won the Xfinity like
100%.
well before the final race.
Way before.
In a landslide.
So having this chase, where it resets, and I think it's after, if I remember, they don't reset anymore, or was that because they had the elimination one?
Yeah, because like the first couple of years of the elimination style format, at the start of every new round, like it was 2,000 for round one. Everybody started at 2,000 in round one. Round two was 3,004 for round three, up all the way up till 5,000 for the final four.
I do think that gives like people who missed the playoffs the last few years a good shot to like have a show. Like the first person that pops in my mind when I say this, Chris Buescher, has had stellar seasons the last 2 years. Missed the playoffs both years, but ran so consistent. He was in the top 5 a lot. He's one driver I'm seeing what could be one of the contenders.
I would definitely see like this format benefiting the Roush guys 100%.
Yes, 100%. I don't know about Brad.
No, maybe
he's one in the format.
Brad is iffy.
Poor Brad.
Keselowski is iffy now. Ryan Preece is kind of a question mark, but definitely Chris Buescher.
I see Preece.
Yeah.
Preece had a stellar. Preece had one of the best first seasons at its. He was one. I think. If I'm not mistaken, he was probably the top of the series that had the third car. I think Preece was the top one who finished. The head of everyone. If I'm not mistaken, Preece had the best run. He ran amazing.
He definitely ran well for like the first half of the year, and then I'm not sure what happened after that. It just something changed, and just Preece kind of started falling back.
You know who I think is probably another one that's going to probably benefit from this, maybe? This is going to sound really crazy. The little man that could, Mr. Ty Gibbs.
I was wondering if you were going to say that. I could see that. I have a funny little debate question for y'all. Who gets their first win? Who gets their first win first? Connor Zilich or Ty Gibbs?
Oh God! Who is Connor Zilich? We're not playing Jeopardy, are we?
No, we're not.
No, but yeah, this driver got their first career win in his rookie season before Ty Gibbs did in his fourth season.
But here's the thing, though. There's one thing that Gibbs has done that can't take away from them. Wasn't last year the inaugural season for the in-season challenge?
Yes, and
Yeah.
that's going to be another thing. I think I'm going to
I
see
think
like
they're
how
doing
that's
that
going to go.
again this year.
Yeah, they're doing it again. I think they did. I think they did some tweaks and stuff, especially during that because they started it out at the damn Atlanta, and that
Echo Park.
screwed up. Yeah, Echo, whatever. That name. I'm not.
Atlanta Super
waiting for
Speedway.
I was waiting
Echo
for
Park.
Elijah to chime in on that one.
Yeah, Atlanta Super Speedway.
Yeah, but we
Ass.
started off at Atlanta, and it screwed up a lot of people. Like a bunch of the top contenders were out. That's why we got the end being tie
It's
versus tie, which
so
is
funny though.
it's still
I
funny.
will say, please, can we have another like magical Ty Dillon run? Please.
Chase.
Wait, hold on.
I don't know about Ty Dillon run, but I hope we do a Chase versus Chase.
No. How about the final four of Chase Briscoe, Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs, and the other Ty?
That would be crazy.
That would be
Chases versus
wild.
ties. That'd be crazy.
The chases are chasing down the ties that are tied up.
Oh my!
Yeah,
and then then you have the Austin versus Austin battle, just sneaking it by.
Right. The Kyle and Kyle show.
Oh, I forgot about the Kyle show. Yeah.
Here's a good question.
Okay.
For both of y'all. Yes, we're going to talk about Ryan Preece here. How many miles is he going to get this year?
Without getting his pilot's license?
No, how many frequent flyer miles do you think he'll get this year?
Oh, God, man. Hopefully none.
Hopefully none.
I would feel so bad for Ryan Preece if he, lifted off into the air again at Daytona
For the
of all places.
It would be the third time in a row at Daytona, right? Because he did it. He did it 24,
23, 23.
23.
Yeah.
Okay,
I thought it was like he did it in a row, but still, it's like
no.
Another thing I was thinking of is like the All-Star weekend. Just for
dear God.
Yeah. For
This is
shits
not-
and
yeah,
giggles. The wall ride. Who can get around the quickest? Wherever they're having the All-Star race.
Oh,
at.
yeah,
Dover. Is that Dover? Is that
Yeah,
Dover?
dear God. Oh, my
Oh, never mind.
God.
That's why I was like, "What are you talking about, wall ride?"
Oh, my God.
Well,
Yeah.
'cause-
That's why I was confused. I'm like, "What are you talking about, wall ride? That's Dover."
You could still technically wall ride Dover. It has the banking to do it for anybody to do it, but like still, like
I totally
geez,
forgot that it was at Dover.
Yeah, geez, Pete's though. Why Dover? I mean, I'll get, and thank the Lord above that North Wilkesboro for the first time in 30 years is getting a points paying race for Cup. Thank the Lord, my God. But still, why?
Can we petition?
Why Dover?
Can we petition for next year for the All-Star race? Richmond. Or not Richmond, Rockingham.
I can agree, Rockingham.
Give the All-Star race to some of the older tracks that NASCAR used to run.
Yes.
Like we had, obviously, you came back, we had North Wilkesboro. Give it to Rockingham.
I agree with Rockingham.
I would agree. Yeah, Rockingham would be a good one. But keep Dover.
I don't know why I said Richmond. I don't know why. I guess they both started with an R.
Yeah.
Like here, like my thing is like I do agree with Sly's take that the All-Star race maybe next year should be placed at the Rock.
Yes.
But can we also agree that the Rock should also get a Cup race as well?
I feel like
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
agree
with
on
the
that.
next, yeah, I agree with that too. My thing is like I feel like let's see how they do at the All-Star race next year.
Well, the thing
Like let's
is, you got Xfinity or O'Reilly, Xfinity, whatever, and trucks. They race at Rockingham.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which I feel is a good start, right? To get Rockingham back on the
Yeah.
map.
And what better way, though, also tying to what I just said, what better way to see what the Cup cars can do than a non-points paying race?
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's see how they do at the All-Star race next year if we do get it, and then the year after will determine like should it be a points paying race or should it be the next North Wilkesboro and be the All-Star?
I think a couple years as the All-Star race, because it was,
I
2
do.
years, and
Yeah,
now Wilkesboro's getting a points paying race?
yeah.
Because I noticed on the schedule that Atlanta has 2 races.
Hmm.
Take one of them out for the love of God.
I agree with that one. I
I
don't
agree.
think there really should be any reason that Atlanta has 2 cup dates.
I can understand
That's- but
Charlotte because you have obviously the Roval and the
If
actual Charlotte
yeah.
race. You know what I
My
mean?
thing is like I wouldn't be that hard into it if it was like if it was the old Atlanta format, like the old Atlanta track. That one, yeah, I can understand why there's 2, but like with the super speedway, no, I don't think it needs 2.
No.
How many miles is Atlanta?
Probably like 1.5 or something. Well, it's
Yeah,
definitely a
I'm
mile and a
sorry.
half.
A mile and a half track should not be a super speedway. I'm sorry.
Agreed. We've all had our talk about our displeasure on that.
That's
That's
like
like
what?
putting a banking at Martinsville.
Yeah, just
Oh, that
banking on Martinsville is just be so out of character.
It's like what I'm thinking is like one of those damn Hot Wheel tracks is like the front stretch are flat and then it's just like that bank.
Oh my god. Can we
I've played the Hot Wheels game. Yeah.
Yeah, like you know what I'm talking about? It's
Yeah,
just like they keep it short and flat and they just have that giant ass curve giant ass curve.
right? Oh my
That looks
god,
so
dude. That would
that
be
looks so
so
crap.
stupid. That would be so stupid. Speaking of something else, let's segue to something else. This is it's not really related to silly season stuff, but it does relate to teams. But there is a new alliance in town, and it is Rick Ware Racing forming an
English.
alliance with Richard Childress Racing. So
Ooh.
they're getting their engine program. They're getting their engines like the ECR engines, and everything, from RCR, Rick Ware Racing. That is, which because Rick Ware Racing is going back to being a Chevrolet team, which they haven't been since 2021. In my honest opinion, and I think you guys might agree too, this is only gonna help Rick Ware Racing like a smidge. It's not gonna be like we're gonna see them up front every single week or like every
No,
other
no.
maybe every other week, but like that's about it at the very best. Maybe like every
Rick
10 races.
Rick Ware has always been the last car of point. Excuse me. Sorry about that, but it's always been last in points for a long time, like in a big margin. Second to last this year was I think Cole Cust. It was either Cole Custer or it was Riley Herbst. But either way, that team was not by a long shot. It was nowhere getting close to either one of those
No.
two. So I don't see like it may be a smidge, but I don't really see like maybe a point or two, maybe moving like a point or two on the finishing points. Like I don't see it doing anything.
No.
I just saw something else that partners with RCR.
Yeah.
Distributor wire and cable? The hell.
I think Haas Factory is also teaming with having an alliance with
Yes.
Hendrix, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah, I would believe so.
I think
also?
it's Hendrix. I think it's Hendrix.
What do y'all know about Greenlight Racing?
Very,
I know a little bit.
very little.
I
Yeah.
know
Because apparently, Cole Custer's set to compete in 5
yeah.
races
Yep.
for
Yeah.
SS Greenlight Racing.
Yep.
See, here's my thing.
Poor
I was told
team.
information. I was told information that Garrett Smithley was going to be doing full time, and now I'm seeing in that zero car. Now I'm seeing other people popping up, and they're doing top. They're doing rides in. I'm like, what the hell happened to Garrett Smithley? Like, of course, y'all know me. I'm the silly. I'm trying to get all this up. We didn't even talk about Xfinity or Truck Series
Speaking
earlier.
of,
But it's like
actually, speaking of like, what happened to Garrett Smithley? What the hell happened to Corey Heim? And the only reason
that's
why
what
I
I want to
ask
know.
that, because this man wins about half the races last year, wins the championship in the process, and then all of a sudden we hear no news about what his plans are for this year. We don't know if he's going to Cup. We don't know if he's going to Xfinity. There was recently news, of, the new driver lineup for Thor Sport. I personally thought he was going to go to Thor Sport, which wouldn't have been happy with it. Wouldn't have been happy with it. But hey, if there's no opportunities presenting themselves in either series, then maybe the trucks is your best fallback for now. But no, it was they hired Cole Butcher, who I have no idea who that is, to drive the 98.
He's big in the late model. He's big in late model stuff. You kind of have to think of him like you do Josh Berry
Right.
in a way.
But
So I could see that. I'd say that's not bad. That's not bad.
it's
If a
not
person
it's
doing-
not bad, but this is it's in the grand scheme of wondering what Corey Heim is going to be doing for this year, that's bad. Because he's fresh off of a championship. We all have talked about, he needs to go to Xfinity. He needs to go to Cup, either or. He just needs to graduate from the trucks. What is he doing?
Corey Heim is expected to race part-time across NASCAR's National Series, focusing on more than 10 Cup Series starts with 2311 and some Truck Series races, while also running select Xfinity events with Sam Hunt Racing as he transitions from his dominant Truck Series run with Tricon.
We go from Truck Champ to now racing across all 3 divisions throughout the year, which is okay, I guess we now know what you're doing, but really? That is the performance that he had last year should have been capable of a full-time ride in either or, but still.
I think this is where factions this is the part where for Cup Series side, you can only go up to 3 drivers. That's except if you're already grandfathered in. That's the only downside to this. It's you could tell 2311 would have picked up a 4th car, and Corey Haim would have been in that. Let's all agree on that. I think.
Oh, easily.
I think with that, if we had to get a 4th car for 2311, it would be for Corey Haim. But now with the rule with that in, you can't get in. You can only get 3 cars unless you're already grandfathered in, like Joker's Racing and Hendrix.
So let's also ask this question then. Since this is the case, and has been the case for a couple of years now, we know that it's contract year for Riley Herbst, correct? We talked about this before we ever started recording. We've gone over it. We've looked at other people's, contract statuses and everything. And we noticed that Herbst's last year is this year, right? This is his make or break year. There's just about the whole damn field, what feels like, but with the exception of some drivers. But talking specifically about Riley Herbst, because this is 2311. Corey Heim also drives select cup races for 2311. Do we see Corey Heim taking over the 35? Should Herbst not improve this year?
Depending on how he does in those 10 races, I think they may try him out in that car, like swap out Herbst and let Corey Heim drive some of the races. And then put Riley Herbst back in.
I don't know if they would do that. I don't know, but never say never.
I think I agree with Slifer. It all depends on how Riley Herbst does this year. Because last year we could say he was rookie year in experience. He did finish like 34th, 35th in points last year. He didn't even make top 30 in 2311 equipment. This has to be year. I'd say he has to get. I'm not saying like he's going to be good enough to run top 20. I'm not saying that. I think this is another Daniel Suarez type deal. But him, I could be a little bit more lenient on. This one has to be like a top 30, top 25.
Did we ever find out who is taking over Crafton's truck?
Ty Majeski.
Ty Majeski.
Yeah, it's Ty Majeski. And
So
honestly, and
relevant.
Yep, and not only that, they're not changing the look of this 88. Menards is still going to be the sponsor for this 88, and they're still going to keep it that Menards yellow, which is, thank God, they're going to keep that legacy going for many, many years to come. It's just going to have Ty Majeski behind the wheel of this 88, which I am here for.
Jake Garcia is moving from the 13 to the 98, and that's why Cole Butcher is now in the 13 for Thor Sport. And as far as I know, Ben Rhodes is still in the 99. I haven't heard nothing else on that. I think he is.
Yeah.
But haven't heard nothing else otherwise.
There's one thing we didn't say anything about that we mentioned before we started recording tonight.
It was the lawsuit. We were actually going to get ready to talk about that.
Besides that, Smoke racing at Daytona in the trucks.
Yeah, because that brings up to the Colleague Racing deal in Truck Series I want to talk about.
That's
a bit more,
true.
Yeah.
So let's actually touch on that, because, we have let's touch on Colleague and Trucks, right? Because they've got 3 of their drivers lined up full time for this year. Tony Stewart in the 25, Brendan Queen and Justin Haley. But of course, Tony Stewart, we know, is lined up for Daytona in the 25. But we'll talk about who we think could be potential candidates over the course of this year a little bit later on. The 14 for Colleague is the most interesting one out of all of them besides the 25. Here's how they're doing it. They have set up, or at least set up a show for 15 drivers to duke it out for this 4th full-time spot in the Truck Series.
I thought it was just going to have different drivers racing it each week.
Nope.
I know the 25 was doing it for All-Star, but I thought they were doing for that show in particular.
Nope.
I guess I missed that information.
Yep, that show is to determine who's going to be the guy that gets that full-time spot.
First airing. It's this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah, this upcoming Sunday on January 25th. With subsequent episodes airing on Ram's YouTube channel through February 6th, the contest's winner is set to be one of the 5 Colleague Ram entries when the manufacturer returns to NASCAR competition, not Cup competition, not yet at least, in the Truck Series season opener at Daytona. Okay, so all right, yeah. This is basically determining that 5th and final speed, which is a full-time ride.
How many episodes is this going to be? Or is this just one episode to determine challenges and stuff? Because Daytona is only unless they're doing this putting a new episode every single day.
So it's 8 episodes. It will take place at tracks including Virginia International Raceway, South Boston, etc.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, because the Daytona 500 is not that far. Like the class. Like I know they'll probably won't affect like the class or anything, but we're not that far away from the Truck Series Daytona. Like what day? What day? What day is that again? If you could
That
remind
is
me.
February 13th.
And that's the Truck Series.
Yes.
That's not that far off. Like
No.
we're already on the ninth. We're already 19th. It's in Daytona. Trucks is on the 13th. That's only like a couple, almost 3 weeks. Like I don't know what they're going to do for these 8 episodes. Like they have to do is like either like day, like every other day, or it has to be like a full week of like over a week of episodes.
I'm sure
Like I
they'll
don't
figure
see.
it out. Like
Yeah.
leave it to Fox and Ram for actually to actually figure this out because there's
And we have to,
it's through,
not to
but
mention
no
start for
wait,
the 22.
because remember it's still through February 6th, so they'll probably be doing this every day or at least within from January 25th to February 6th. Let's talk about the 25 because again, as I mentioned, we
Yeah.
know that Tony Stewart's slotted for Daytona. But there have been some other candidates that have been rumored. Casey Kane, we talked
Casey
about
Kane.
before we even started. Another one for like road courses. I've even brought up for road courses. Like you bring in Alex Tagliani. You could bring in Robbie Gordon. Surprisingly enough, yeah, Robbie Gordon.
I mentioned Juan Pablo Montoya.
Montoya. That's another one.
Yeah, and there's a
Who's
name
who's
we haven't heard in a while that if they can find a way to get him to do road courses. Boris said.
Yeah.
That's who. Yeah, Boris. What's the other big road course name? I forgot his name. He drives for like lower series in the Xfinity sometimes, but he's always running up there. I think he ran at with one of the RCR, not RCR, one of the Rick Ware cars.
Andy Lally.
Actually did pretty good. Andy Lally, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
And you also got to think like this could be where like legends come back for like one-offs.
Oh yeah.
Like Dave mentioned, hey, Jimmy Johnson's coming. Jimmy Johnson's coming back for the Truck Series for at the naval base.
Yeah, the naval base.
In the Truck Series. In the Truck Series.
Well, I mean, I can see that because, granted, he's from El Cajon, but it's in Coronado, which is honestly, I think, if I can remember, like 25 minutes away, if that.
You bring that up. What about Kevin Harvick come back for a one-off? Or like not Greg Biffle, wrong one. Clint Boyer. Sorry, Greg. Clint Boyer coming back for
Yeah,
what he already did one for trucks
Boyer
and
for sure. You could do maybe like Charlotte or Nashville for Boyer or Kansas.
Yeah. Or
one of those
Kansas.
3 tracks, in my opinion, you could definitely put Boyer in.
You know who I'd like to see come back for a one-off?
Who?
Michael Waltrip.
Oh,
I could see that.
Oh God.
You know what's funny? I've seen Talladega. Yeah.
Oh Jesus! Put him in the me car.
I got one. I got one for you. They've already, like you mentioned, Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson. They added him as well. Jeff Gordon.
What if?
That would be fucking crazy.
What if?
Sorry. Damn it.
You could do. Slice doesn't even know what to say.
He's like, no, no.
The man was too stunned to speak.
He's like, do not put Jeff Gordon in these trucks. Do not put him in these trucks.
If you're gonna do that, you might as well put Dale Jr.
I was honestly, his name did pop up after I said Jeff Gordon. Not gonna lie, like I don't like I would not be surprised But this is going to be pretty interesting. We're just thinking like legends and stuff. We don't know like any other people's like different racing series. Like we could bring what was his name? Ran the 91.
Helio Castroneves?
Trackhouse. Thank you. Like people like Elio Castroneves or like so like drivers from different series.
There's
Yeah.
a couple other pieces of news that we could definitely bring up. This was just recently announced. Actually 3 days ago. So this was announced back on Friday. At the time that we're recording this, January 16th, but the date that we're pre-recording this is January 19th, but the story was released January 16th. I know that was definitely that was pretty confusing to say, but it was announced by Ford Racing that they will be bringing in the Mustang Dark Horse SC in 2027, next year. It says here, according to this article, the new design is based off the sports car Ford unveiled during its annual season launch with the 2023 Cup Series champion Ryan Blaney behind the wheel. With the street flexing 5.2 liter V8 engine, the NASCAR edition will compete for the first time officially in the 2027 Daytona 500 at Daytona, of all places. Ford introduced the Dark Horse in 2024, collecting the 2024 Cup Championship with Joey Logano, and 19 total wins in 2 seasons since then. The introduction to the Dark Horse SC, which stands for Supercharger, highlights the manufacturer's next step in stock car racing's top level. Let's be real here. This unveiling is way more legit than what Chevrolet did in the off season by a landslide. I even looked at the pictures for this car. It's actually not bad. It kind of looks similar to what we have now with the Dark Horse. It's way more legit than what we had with with Chevrolet announcing, oh, we don't know what the future is of the ZL1. What's Chevrolet gonna do? And oh my God, we're bringing in a brand new Chevy Camaro ZL1. Wow, look at that! It's so brand new. And then here comes Ford with the Dark Horse LC.
Hold my beer.
And they actually unveiled this car for real. There was no AI generated image or anything. Like, thank God Ford actually did this unveiling right. And they actually came out with something new that is coming next year, and not what Chevrolet did for this year, which is literally just a copy and paste from, the previous Chevy Camaros that we've had over the years.
That's nice.
That does look nice.
Like, this car looks really good.
Oh, that's going to be rough when we do Dark Horse picks.
Nice. But there is one more piece of news that I feel we should definitely talk about, and that is the aftermath of this lawsuit that had been going on between 2311 and Front Row Motorsports and NASCAR. Thank God, first of all, that this lawsuit is over. Then now we now have like we now have evergreen charters now, which I still don't think we should have the charter system, honestly. And NASCAR is going to be actively looking to make improvements, with teams and vice versa. It's been a bit since I've read the article, but basically the teams and NASCAR have settled. Thank God. And I honestly cannot wait to see what this year has in store for NASCAR altogether. I know that they have been, working. Well, at least they're going to work with other, like, the teams and the drivers. I mean, of course, they've been making strides. The 750 horsepower package is coming back, but unfortunately for the short tracks, why not for other tracks? They, like, leadership, I feel like, is also going to change as well, because Steve Phelps is no longer there, and because of the texts that were exchanged between him and other executives, I'd say thank God, because there was a lot. It got, figuratively, it got pretty nasty in the courtroom, with a bunch of things that were said, and then the emails and the text messages that were revealed, especially on NASCAR side. It really, and when we saw the text messages come out, it really made me question NASCAR's leadership, especially Steve Phelps. Talking badly about SRX and the Cup drivers like Denny Hamlin, for instance, going and racing in SRX. He talked pretty badly about Richard Childress. It got pretty bad. And even when Childress found out, he was even threatening to take action. So
especially with, like, from what I heard, like, some of the information that he had, like, private information about, like, his team and numbers and stuff, I remember correctly, uh, they got revealed, and he's like, "How did you get this information?"
yeah,
Like, trying to question, like, how'd you get private information like this? I haven't really told outside the deal, like,
mm,
and even got to the point where even the judge even asked him how they got the information.
yeah. There's pros and cons to Steve Phelps leaving. Obviously, the pros are, thank God he's out of there. All the thing, like, the leadership that had been around in NASCAR for a while, regardless if you think of Steve Phelps or Steve O'Donnell, Brian France. We all remember Brian France. That era was something. There are some. I mean, of course, we'll give credit to Steve Phelps where it is due. He was probably the focal point of, NASCAR, instead of having that traditional set schedule every year, to then, shaking it up. Let's try this track. Let's go to this track. People want to see the Cup cars or the Xfinity cars or trucks at this track. Let's go here. So on, right? If it hadn't been for Phelps, we probably wouldn't have gotten Chicagoland Speedway back. We wouldn't have been able to see Cup cars, or at least NASCAR in general, go to Mexico for the first time since 2009 or 2010. We probably wouldn't have been able to see, street racing as good of an idea as that was on paper. I just don't think it really worked out the way that others really would have hoped for. So it sucks in that regard, but overall, thank God Steve Phelps is gone. So we'll see exactly how the leadership kind of changes up a little bit. Whether it be if they just find somebody else, or what's his name? I can't even remember his name, but he is amongst the France family. Jim France.
Bill?
Jim France.
Bill.
No. Both Bill France Sr. and Jr. unfortunately are no longer with us and have not been for a while. But no, Jim France if he's going to be the guy that oversees everything and just takes Steve Phelps' spot for the time being, or what. It's going to be an interesting time in the leadership of NASCAR. Maybe one more thing that we can definitely say before we sign off is 2026. The 2026 season is getting ready to start, and of course next week, that's when we're definitely going to start picking up on predictions. As we're getting closer to Bowman Gray and to the start of this upcoming year for NASCAR, what are some key things that we're going to be looking for this year?
For me, it's like I want to see like points wise it show like who's more consistent. So if I want to see if with this new format, how the racing's gonna be.
Right.
Like you still got stage racing, you still got that, but I want to see like how the intensity of the race, like who's going to now be a step more up and show more their speed. Like this will be showing like who has better horsepower and everything. It's like I said, like this is where like of course Larson, Bell, Blaney, Byron, they're going to show the speed on how they do. But it's like who else is going to show up? Like who missed the playoffs is going to have that speed, like Chris Buescher or Ryan Preece, or someone like Ty Gibbs going to show up their hand, or how well Connor Zillage is going to go.
Yeah.
I want to see how the speed goes in this format. So with the drivers, and just uh ready for the chase to see how well that does in his first year back.
Yeah.
Even though it's going to be months from now. But that's my expectation.
My expectation, obviously, is like what Wyatt said, the consistency. Because we know a lot of races, obviously, are definitely going to go down to pit strategy toward the end of the race. How well is NASCAR going to be on a active naval air base for the first time? How well the rookie's going to do, like Connor Zillage. Just overall, what is NASCAR going to bring back some of the old school fans that used to watch it in the era of the chase, or when the chase was first announced?
Yeah.
Just overall how well everybody is going to perform to see. Everyone says I want to be a NASCAR champion. Time to prove it now. No more SVG only winning road courses and getting into a playoff. Time to earn it.
Time to earn it. Well, ladies and gents, I think this is a pretty good spot to put a bow on this episode. And
I did have one last thing though.
What's up?
Before the real kickoff for the racing season is next Saturday afternoon.
Oh
at
yeah, the
Daytona.
Rolex. The
Rolex
Rolex.
24 hour.
Oh yeah. So
the Iron Man of racing.
So hopefully everybody does enjoy the Rolex 24 coming up. But as for the NASCAR stuff, we're back. We are back, baby.
Yeah.
And the GTN, I think we're going to have ourselves a really great 2026 season. Lots of things to talk about, lots of things to look forward to. It's just going to be another one of those years that I think we're all just going to be pretty pumped up, just to do this show every week. So with that said, We want to thank you guys a lot for watching / listening to this episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR. If you guys like this on the 11 Podcast YouTube channel, be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe as well in order to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. Also, if you're listening to this really on Spotify, be sure to hit the follow button so you don't miss future episodes that come out every Thursday night, 6 p.m. Eastern time, right here, not just on Spotify, but on the 11 Podcast YouTube channel as well. On behalf of co-host Wyatt, our panelist Sly, I'm Elijah Leonard signing out, and we'll talk to you guys on the very next episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR.
See y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to tonight's episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR. Really hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to hit that follow button so you don't miss a future episode throughout the NASCAR season. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.